Hello there guys. Okay, in this video I'm going to discuss about a chemistry paper 2 1523, and this is a replacement June exam for Pakistan year 2021. Okay, so I'm going to start with a paper 2. Okay, for the first question here, gaseous ammonia and gaseous hydrogen chloride react to form a ammonium chloride, a white solid. Okay, and then here we have a cotton wool soak in a concentrated aqueous ammonia at this side. Is placed in one end of the glass tube, and at the same time cotton wool is soaked in a concentrated hydrochloric acid in the opposite side. Here is placed at the other end of the tube. The tube is sealed. Where is the tube does the white solid initially appear? Okay, over here they are discussing about the diffusion rate. So the diffusion rate is influenced by the masses. So if you look at ammonia is NH3, okay, and hydrochloric acid is HCl. So if you look at the RMM, okay, relative molecular mass calculation, your nitrogen here is 14, and plus with hydrogen, which is 1 multiplied with 3, you are getting here 3, and all total is 17. And if you look at hydrochloric acid, hydrogen is 1, and chlorine here is about 35.5. So all total up is 36.5, which makes hydrochloric acid is much more heavier. Okay, when this is heavy and aqueous ammonia here is lighter, okay, this is lighter, so it will diffuse much more faster. Okay, so it will evaporate and move more faster. So the white solid should be at is going more faster compared to hydrochloric acid. So the white solid must form here at this side. Alright, so this is the explanation for this question. So for number 1, your answer is C. Alright, okay, now let us move to the next one. Okay, for number 2, a student uses apparatus shown to measure volume of a carbon dioxide gas made when different masses of marble chips are added to 25 centimeter cube of dilute hydrochloric acid. Okay, which other items of apparatus are needed? So there's a marble chip, bung, gas syringe, and we have an acid over here. So the hint is given at here. Different masses, okay, and we have a volume here. So an apparatus are needed for masses is balance, okay, balance, and for the volume we need a measuring cylinder. So we need a measuring cylinder and also balance. Okay, so there is no timing over here, so we don't need a stopwatch. So this is your answer for number 2. Okay, let us move on with number 3. Okay, here number 3, a solute and a solvent are separated by distillation process. Which diagram is correctly labeled? Okay, for this is we call as a Liebig condenser. Liebig condenser. Okay, now we have A, B, C. Okay, let me scroll further down. Okay, so in this diagram, the water should go in over here. Okay, water should go in, so they will be rising equally, and they'll be going out. Alright, so in this direction, B and D is out. Okay, why the water should go in over here? So the cooling process can happen in a continuous manner. Alright. Okay, now the difference between A and C, you can see here there's a solute and solvent. So solute or solvent? Okay, logically speaking, solvent is a mixed with water. Alright. So here we will have a condensation process happening over here. That's where we are getting the drips of the water, okay, or the liquid. So here should be the solvent and here should be the solute. And the main difference between a solute and also solvent is, so the basic explanation here, the water is called as a solvent, the salt is called as a solute, and the salt water here is called as solution. Okay, so your answer here is only solvent or solute. Okay, now let us go back to the question. So your best choice here will be A, and here must be a solvent. If it is this one should be solution more accurately. Okay, so your answer is A over here. So number 3 is A. Okay, now let us look at number 4. Okay, a magnesium atom has a symbol of this one supposed to be 24. Okay, 24 Mg and here's 12. It reacts to form a magnesium ion 2 plus. Okay, which will identify the number of proton, neutron and electron in the ion. So if you notice that the electron, okay, now let me list down the proton, electron number over here and the neutron. Okay, so for atom, magnesium atom, here you have 12, here you have 12, the neutron also is 12. Alright, so now let us discuss about the arrangement for atom magnesium. So here you have 2.8.2, this is the arrangement. So what happened when you are forming the ion, you will be donating the 2 electrons, correct? So when we are donating the 2 electrons, the ion here, okay, I use a different color, so magnesium 2 plus, so proton, electron and neutron. So the electron only has 10 electrons. Protons which stays in the nucleus will remain the same, and neutron, there is no changes, you have 12. So you'll be 12 and 10, so which will give you C as your answer. Okay, so now we move on with number 5. Okay, number 5, which dot cross diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of carbon dioxide? Okay, so let me explain to you the entire process. Carbon dioxide, okay. So carbon, it has 6 electrons, which will give us 2.4, the electron arrangement. So carbon needs 4 more electrons, correct? Okay, so and for oxygen you have about 8 electrons, which will give you 2.6. So you need another 2 more electrons to be stabilized. Okay, now the arrangement we have to draw by using a Lewis structure. So you have to look at the element that appears single. Okay, so we put the carbon over here and oxygen at the both end. Okay, now for carbon you need another 4 more, correct? So here's a 4 more electrons needed. and oxygen only needs 2 more electrons. So I'm going to settle out the oxygens first. So oxygen need 2 more, so we just have to draw 6 and 4. Okay, so I'm using X to represent the electron for oxygen, and I'm going to use the blue color for carbon. So they are sharing 4, all their 4 electrons, and here they'll have a bonding. Okay, and if you notice here, oxygen is getting 8, okay, getting 8 electrons, and carbon is also getting 8 electrons. So they are forming a double bond at both sides. Okay, so this is the explanation over here. So now let us look at the answer. So here we have, this is not correct. Okay, for the B, this is not correct, so it's wrong. Okay, look at C, it's not, it's incorrect. Okay, same goes to B. So here we need 4. Okay, so if you notice this, here we need to have 4 at this part. At this part we need 4 electrons. Okay, now we go back to this, and as you can see, only the A matches. So we have 4 electrons and 4 electrons being shared. Alright, so this is our answer for number 5. So for number 6, okay, there are electronic structure for atom X and Y. So what is the formula of the molecule formed by X and Y? So X, here you have 2, 8 and 2. So this is definitely a group 2, okay, group 2, and your ion formation here will be X2+, and this is a metal. Okay, for Y we have 2, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. So it's a non-metal. Okay, so this is ionic bonding, and your ion here it will be negative. So once they mixed up, you have okay, so X2 plus, Y negative. So the 2 will move here, 1 will move here. So you got the X Y2, so which is A, your answer. Okay, so this is for number 6. Okay, now look at number 7. Okay, for number 7, which row about a property of silicon dioxide? Silicon oxide, and the explanation of the property is correct. So silicon oxide, so their formula will be this. Okay, silicon oxide. So remember, in our group 14 is quite special, where silicon, plumbum and stannum, alright, they can form 2+. It's a bit unique in group 14. So let us go through one by one. It conducts electricity. Electron can move freely through the structure. So this is incorrect, because in our group 14 only carbon can conduct electricity. So this is wrong. It is used as lubricant. Weak forces. Okay, silicon oxide is one of the giant molecular structures. Okay, so they have a very strong forces. Melting point. Okay, there is a strong attraction between silicon and oxide ions. Okay, you have to highlight over here ions. So they are formed by covalent bondings. Alright, covalent bondings. So covalent bondings do not require ions. Okay, now let us look at the last one. It is a hard solid. it is a macromolecular with a strong bond. So only this will be accepted. So your answer is donkey over here, D. Okay, now let us move on with number 8. Okay, for number 8, these two statements are about metals, their properties and bondings. Statement 1, metal conducts electricity when solid. Okay. Statement 2, in metal, a lattice of a positive ion exists in a sea of electrons which can move throughout the metal. They are explaining about the metallic bonding. Okay, which answer is correct? So in metallic bonding, for your understanding, so here we have, let's say we take a piece of any metals, like aluminium. Okay, so here we have the atoms, the positive ions, and you have a sea of electrons around them. Okay, a lot of electrons, so the current can actually pass through them easily. So basically the statement 2 is explaining about statement 1. Okay, the explanation. So both statements are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Yes. So your answer for A, so 8 is A. Okay, now we look at number 9. Okay, the equation for the complete combustion of ethanol. C2H6 and C. Okay, which formula balance the equation? Okay, since we have here sulfur dioxide, water, and they mention about a complete combustion. So complete combustion must produce carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide. So this is related to balancing. Okay, now we have to do the balancing. So C, as you have to, okay, as you have to, and this one is settled. Hydrogen you have 12, and it's 12 over here. And total number of oxygens, okay, like carbon we have 2 and 2 here, so here should be 4. Now just to confirm this, let us check the oxygen. So here we have 18. Okay, here we have 8, here we have 4, and here we have 6. So all total we have about 18. Yes, this is correct. Okay, so your answer for number 9 is going to be boy. Okay, the equation, this one requires some calculation, so I just make it top here. Okay, number 10, the equation for the formation of ethanol from glucose is shown below. 36 gram of glucose produces 9.2 gram of ethanol. Okay, percentage yield of ethanol in this experiment. Okay, first we calculate the mole. Okay, the mole over here. So we take 36 gram divided by the RMM of a glucose, which is 180, and it gives you the calculation of 0.2. Okay, so this one it will give you about 0.2 mole. Okay, and then based on the mole ratio, here is 1, this is 2, and this is 2. So if it's happening in a perfect order, it should produce it should produce 0.4 mole. Alright, 0.4 mole of ethanol. So now let us look at the masses over here. So 0.4 multiplied with the RMM, which is 46. It gives you about 18.4 gram. Okay, this is the theoretical production. Okay, but it only produces 9.2. So your next calculation here will be 9.2 divided by 18.4. So which is 50%. So you multiply with 100, you are getting here about 50%. So this experiment only produced about 50% efficiency, percentage yield. Okay, so this is the calculation for question number 10. So I'll move on with the next question. Okay, for number 11, 4 laterallysis experiments are described. This is a laterolite and this is the latrods. And aqueous copper to sulfate is copper. Aqueous copper sulfate is a graphite. Okay, which statement is correct for all 4 electrolysis experiments? Okay, now we have here anode and here we have cathode. Okay, we have anode and cathode. Okay, so for anode at the copper, for this experiment, so you have here copper ion produced. Okay, this one is produced, and here you will have copper atom. For aqueous copper to sulfate and graphite, okay, this one is a stable, inert, so we can expect the normal result. So here we will have oxygen gas released. Here we have a copper. For concentrated, okay, this one is a concentrated. So if it's concentrated, you won't be getting oxygen, you'll be getting a chlorine. And here we will have hydrogen gas released. For dilute sulfuric acid, so here we have oxygen and here we will have hydrogen gas. Okay, so now let us look at the answers given here. Okay, hydrogen gas is formed at the cathode. So not all, is only 2 of this experiment. Okay, ion gains electron at cathode, that is correct. So if you look at here, the equations here will be, they'll be receiving electrons to form copper at this side, and for the hydrogen you will have, he will gain electron to form hydrogen with 2. This is your half equation, so this is correct. But let us look at the next one. The electrodes are inert, so only this one is inert. Copper is not inert. So 2 or more products are formed. No, only one. Okay, there's only one product will be forming at each cathode and anode. So your best answer here will be boy. Okay, now we look at number 12. Okay, an energy diagram for a reaction is shown. Okay, this is the energy, and the energy is going down. So this is your energy released. Okay, energy released. So it should be exothermic. This is exothermic because energy is being released to the surrounding. Okay. So you have two answers over here, exothermic and exothermic, which is C and D. Now the product have more energy than the reactant. Okay, so you have to understand the reactant is here and the product is here. So the product will have less energy compared to the reactant. Okay, so your answer for number 12 is D. Okay, now let us move to the next one, number 13. Okay, which product is made in a fuel cell? So fuel cell is made hydrogen and oxygen. This is a very combustive combination, and as a product you will have water. Okay, so you have a D as your answer. Okay, for number 14, which processes physical changes? So physical changes, melting ice. Physical changes means it's like solid, liquid, gases. Okay, so it's between this. So now we look at this. Number 1, melting ice is just like converting solid to liquid. Yes, number 1 is selected. Okay, reduction of a copper 2 oxide. So copper 2 oxide, let's say I do an equation over here, plus with zinc. So what happened? So here you have a zinc oxide plus with copper, but this is not a reversible process. Okay, so the copper cannot again become copper oxide. So it is not reversible. So this is a chemical changes. Okay, burning sulfur, any combustion is not a physical change. So once you burn the sulfur, okay, you burn the sulfur, you are getting a sulfur dioxide. So you cannot change it back. It's irreversible. So this is not. Okay, boiling ethanol. So same thing. Boiling ethanol. Okay, for boiling ethanol, there is a bit of explanation need to be done. Okay. Okay, now it is not burning. Alright, this is not burning. It is a boiling the ethanol. So if you are boiling, you are just changing a liquid to gas. And the gas can be condensed back to the liquid. Okay, so remember, boiling is different, burning is different. So 1 and 4 is selected. So your answer is boil over here. Okay, now look at number 15. Okay, a chemical reaction is carried out at a fixed temperature. It is repeated at a higher concentration. All other condition remains the same. Which row describes how the collision rate and the proportion of molecules with the activation energy changes in a second reaction? So if I repeat again, this question need to be, okay, it's a fixed temperature. Okay, this experiment is repeated at a higher concentration. It means the next experiment they are going to use is with a higher concentration. So that's the only difference over here. So the collision rate obviously will increase due to you have additional molecules. Okay, and then if you look at the proportion of molecules with the activation energy, there is no difference. Okay, there is no difference because the activation energy for every reaction is still the same unless you have a catalyst attached. Okay, you have a catalyst attached. Since there is no catalyst, so it is like remains no change. It remains the same. So your answer here will be boy. Okay, so for number 16. Okay, the equation for the reaction between aqueous potassium iodide and aqueous bromine is shown. Which statement about the reaction is correct? So here, let me make it bigger. Okay, so the bromine is being reduced. So here we have the oxidation number for bromine is 0, and here will be -1. Yeah, you can say that correct. And then for iodine, so here will be -1, and here is 0. So iodine is being oxidized. Okay, now let us look at B. A potassium ion acts as a oxidizing agent. Not really. The whole thing here will act as a reduction agent, okay, for bromine. So potassium ion are oxidized. They are the same. So for potassium, here is +1 and here is +1. There is no changes. Iodine ion gains electron. So here in this case, because iodine is a negative ion, okay, so they need to donate. They need to donate the iodine. So it should be not gain, should be donate, losers, okay. So your best answer here will be A for number 16. Okay, let us move on with next one. Okay, hydrogen and iodine gas react together to produce gaseous hydrogen iodide in a reversible reaction. Okay, this forward reaction is exothermic. Okay, exothermic, it means it releases a lot of heat. So to make the entire equation to move forward, move to the right, okay, so your temperature here must be under control, lower, and we need to increase the pressure. That's how we can shift to right. This is for shift to right. So if you want to make the equation reversible, okay, shift to the left, your temperature should be higher and your pressure should be lower, the opposite. So this is to shift to left. Now we look at the answers. Okay, with hydrogen and hydrogen iodide are colorless gas. Iodine gas is purple. So here you can see the purple gas is reducing if it's a shift to the right. Okay, so A, forward and reverse reaction both stop when equilibrium reached. It doesn't make sense. They won't stop. They'll continue. Okay, they'll continue. Okay, position of equilibrium is not affected by pressure changes. Not affected by pressure changes. Let me check these pressure changes so you can keep it at one side. Position of equilibrium is not affected by temperature change. Yes, it is affected. Okay, it is affected. The reaction mixture continue to change color after equilibrium is reached. No, they remain at a certain level of purple. So here you will have boy as your best answer. Okay, for number 18, the ethanoic acid is a weak acid. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Ethanoic acid molecules are partially dissociate in aqueous solution. This is correct. For strong acid, they are completely dissociates. Okay, so there's a difference between a strong acid and also the weak acid. And 1 molarity ethanoic acid has a higher pH than 1 molarity of a hydrochloric acid. This one is correct. It means the hydrochloric pH, let's say, is 1. And here, since it is weak acid, maybe we just say it's a pH of 3 or 4. Okay, now for number 3, ethanoic acid is always more dilute. No, this one doesn't make sense. Okay, ethanoic acid is a proton acceptor. Always remember, acid is a proton donor and base is a proton acceptor. So your answer here will be 1 and 2, which is A. Okay, for number 19, which oxide neutralize aqueous sodium hydroxide? So this is an alkali. Okay, alkali. So we need to have another acid to have a neutralization process to occur. So calcium oxide, this is a group 2. Group 2 oxide is always alkali. Okay, and water is a neutral. So A and D is wrong. This is neutral. And for B and C, okay, carbon monoxide, even though it is acidic, okay, even though it is acidic, it is not so acidic as the sulfur dioxide. This is very much acidic compared to carbon monoxide. So this is the best answer here. Okay, for number 20, an excess of aqueous sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate was added to aqueous barium chloride and the mixture is filtered. Okay, so if you go through the salt chapter, sulfate, okay, the sulfate ion is soluble except for barium and lead. Alright, so let me do for you an equation over here. So sodium sulfate plus with barium chloride, you will have barium sulfate plus with sodium chloride. So only the barium sulfate will form a precipitate. Okay, they will form a precipitate which will be the residue. And anything that has sodium, it is all soluble. Okay, it means sodium sulfate is soluble, sodium chloride is also soluble. So in your substance in filtrate is the, okay, let me explain to you. Let me make a small drawing to explain this. So you will have this, the filter tunnel, and you have a beaker over here. Okay, the liquid, this one over here that flows in, this is called as a filtrate. Okay, this is called as a filtrate, and the thing that gets stuck over here is called as a residue. Okay, so I hope I clear your confusion over here. So your best answer here will be, here must be barium sulfate. Okay, barium chloride in the filtrate. So this is not possible. So your best answer here will be sodium and sodium, boy. Okay, so we move on with number 21. Okay, let me erase the on top one here. Okay, for number 21, compound X is tested and the results are shown. So over here, aqueous sodium hydroxide is added and then heated gently. A gas given off which turns them red to blue. Okay, red to blue, it is an alkali. Okay, it's an alkali. So the gas has an alkali characteristics. Dilute hydrochloric acid is added and you will have bubbles. gas given off turns lime water. So this is confirmed is carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, if it's carbon dioxide, here you must have a carbonate. Okay, carbonate ion. So for alkali, let us look at the answers. There is no chloride. Okay, there is no chloride, and we have here carbonates and ammonia. Ammonia has a alkali characteristics. So here should be ammonium ion with the carbonate ion. So your answer is A here. Okay, for number 22, which statement about elements in a periodic table is correct? So they are arranged in an order of increasing nucleon number. This is wrong, because your answer here should be increasing proton number. Okay, proton number. Elements in a group 17 is the diatomic nonmetals, which is correct, because if you look at the group 17, you have fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, all of them in the room temperature, they will appear as a Dewey atom. Okay, all of them will appear as a Dewey atom. So this is correct. Okay, elements with the similar properties are in the same period. Not really. Same period, no. It should be in the same group. Okay, transition elements are a collection of metals and non-metals. No, all the elements here, they are metal. So please take note. So your answer here will be boy. 23. Which statement explains why the noble gas helium is unreactive? Because they already reach stabilities. Okay, they already become stable, and they are under duplet configuration. So the normal one is 2.88. Okay, if you see there's a 8 is an octet. Only helium has a duplet, which is 2 electrons. So your best answer here will be, it has a complete outer shell of electrons. Okay, can be the answer. 2 protons and the stability doesn't make sense. Same number of proton and neutron? No. Proton, electron, neutron? No. Your best answer here is A. Okay. Okay, for number 24, the position of 4 elements in periodic table are shown. Which element form ionic compound in which the elements has a different oxidation numbers? Okay, so here, if ionic compound, you need one is a metal, another one is a non-metal, and if it's you having a different oxidation number, this one should be a transition element, so it cannot be A. Okay, so your best answer here should include B. Okay, only B. Okay, now we move on with number 25. Okay, the element rutherfordium Rf was first detected in 1964. It's a metal. What are the predicted properties of rutherfordium? Okay, since it is metal, it conducts electricity when molten. Is possible. Is correct. Okay, and then does not conduct electricity when solid. No, wrong. Okay, all metals will have a high melting point and boiling point. So this is wrong. And rutherfordium is a permeable. Yes, all metals are permeable. So it's 1 and 4, which is boy here. Okay, for number 26, the results of 3 reaction of metal M and its nitrate are given. M react with the dilute hydrochloric acid. M displace zinc metal from aqueous zinc salt, which means in the reactivity series, the M is located above the zinc, okay, above the zinc. Heat decomposed the nitrate of M into mixture of 2 gases and a solid. So this one should be in the case of sodium and magnesium. It could be potassium, okay? So this is the okay, now we look at one by one. Iron is actually below zinc, so this is impossible. So potassium, okay. So your best answer here will be C. Okay, for number 27, which statement about the extraction of aluminium from aluminium oxide is correct? So let me draw for you the diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram for aluminium oxide extraction. Okay, so the ion here, the oxygen will be diverted to the anode side, okay, which is these two rods, and you will have oxygen gas releasing. I make it 4 here. Okay, so here you have oxygen gas. Okay, since it is hot, okay, it's very hot, it might react with the rod, which is carbon. Okay, so it will give you carbon dioxide, and eventually what happens is the rod over here will begin to get thinner, reduces in mass, and the aluminium will be reacting at the cathode side, which will accepting electrons and form aluminium metal. So the aluminium metal is heavier, is denser, and so it will move down. Okay, so this is the entire explanation for the extraction of aluminium oxide. So now let us look at here one by one. Aluminium is formed. The first one, aluminium is formed at the positive electrode during electrolysis. So positive electrode here, they means is an anode. So which is not true. Positive electrode. Okay, which is not true. The pure aluminium oxide is dissolved in molten cryolite. Yes, this is correct. So cryolite will be acting as a dissolver for pure aluminium oxide, and also it reduces its melting point. Okay, so pure aluminium oxide electrolyzed using aluminium as the positive electrode. So both electrodes here is carbon, not aluminium. So this is wrong. So for D, pure aluminium oxide is heated with the carbon to form carbon dioxide and aluminium. This is wrong. Okay, so your best answer here will be A. Okay, now let us look at number 28. Okay, the iron extracted from its ore in a blast furnace. So the equation for 4 different reactions are shown. So always remember, in the blast furnace we have 3 important raw material, which is iron, iron ore, the hematite. Okay, and then we have calcium carbonate, and also we have a choke here. Okay, coke. So the reaction here will be carbon will be oxidized, to form carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide will be further oxidized to form carbon monoxide. Okay, and then this carbon monoxide is a very strong reducing agent. So what happens is it will reduce the iron, the ferrum iron, to become iron and releases carbon dioxide. Okay, the another one here is the calcium carbonate, which is not included here, but anyway I just will explain. So this calcium carbonate, it will decompose into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This further will be reacting with a silicate, with a silicon dioxide, which is from here. Okay, and it will form a calcium silicate. This is the slag. So now let us look at the equations here. So this one is 2 is wrong. Number 3 is correct. So number 1 is also wrong. Number 4 is correct. Okay, they are in a sequence. So your best answer here will be donkey. Okay, now let us look at number 29. So for number 29, some uses of water are listed as a solvent, coolant in the chemical industry, to irrigate crops, to provide safe drinking water during a drought. Which uses are important to sustain the population of a country? So you can say here 3 and 4, because this one is regarding agriculture, okay, where they get the food, and this is for humans to get the water. Both of these is not important. Okay, so this should be D. Okay, 30. Which substance are needed for iron to rust? So they need water and oxygen, both of these. Okay, so 30 is donkey. Okay, 31. Which process remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? This is very basic question. So your base answer here should be C, photosynthesis. They use carbon dioxide to form the oxygen. Okay, 32. Which statement about sulfur dioxide is correct? Now if you look at sulfur dioxide, it is acidic. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, it produces sulfuric acid when electrolyzed. This is also wrong. Okay, it is produced when sodium sulfate react with dilute hydrochloric acid. Yes, this is correct. This one is correct. Okay, it reacted with oxygen in the presence of catalyst to form sulfur trioxide. Okay, this is during the contact process. Okay, this is during the contact process. Contact process. So only 2 and 3 is correct. So your answer here will be C. Okay, the next one is 33. What are uses of a sulfur dioxide? So sulfur dioxide. So you can see the sulfur dioxide as a food preservative, as a bleach in the manufacture of a wood pulp. Yes, is correct. Okay, in a conversion of iron to steel. So for iron to steel, we do not need sulfur dioxide. To kill bacteria, here is a chlorine. So your best answer here will be A, 1 and 2. Okay, 434. Which type of reaction occur when calcium oxide is formed from calcium carbonate? So it's a calcium carbonate. So it's calcium carbonate to form calcium oxide. As I explained the previous question, this one should be a thermal decomposition. Okay, thermal decomposition. D. Okay, the structure of some organic compound are shown. Which compound belong to a same homologous series? So this is alcohol. This is alcohol. This is alkane. This one is acid, carboxylic acid. And this is alcohol. So we have OH here, OH. So 1, 3. So its answer is boy here. Okay. So we move to question number 36. Okay, the industrial fractional distillation of petroleum is shown. Okay, what happened at the Y? So Y, which is over here, the place where before they are being separated. So here you have to understand, this is a fractional distillation, okay, which is important based on their boiling point. Okay, they are separated due to their boiling point. So firstly, the petroleum will appear as a liquid. Okay, will appear as a liquid. So you need to change it to gas at first. So here it should be evaporation as your best answer. Okay, they need to be evaporated first before being separated. Okay, so this is the answer for number 36, evaporation. Okay, number 37, which pairs of compound is used to prepare this? Okay, so now we make it bigger. Okay, we can separate this into here. So this one will be coming from 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this is coming from propanoic acid. Okay, this is a propanoic acid. Propanoic acid. And this one will be coming from alcohol, which is C2. 1, 2, 3. So this is ethanol. So it should be coming from propanoic acid and ethanol. Propanoic acid and ethanol. So I answer is C here. Okay, now for number 38, ethanol is oxidized to ethanoic acid by acidified potassium manganate. What color change is observed in the reaction? So this is a purple color. Okay, this is a purple color. So once you have the reaction, it will change to colorless. So always remember, if you see the potassium manganate, the purple color will be changed to colorless. Okay, always remember this. Purple to colorless. So answer is boy. Okay, now look at number 39. The linkage between monomer unit in the condensation polymer. So this one should be from an amide group. Okay, amide, they have nitrogen and hydrogen, and this one should be from an acid group. Okay, that they have this C. Okay, which type of polymer contain this linkage? This is we call as an amide linkage. So it should be, it is a protein, because protein must contain a nitrogen here, and it is a polyamide. Okay, polyester is different. Polyester is under addition. Okay, this one is under addition. Addition polymer. It is not under condensation polymer. So complex carbohydrate is not involved. So your answer here will be 2 and 4, which is D. Okay, the last question here. The structure of part of polymer is shown. Which monomer is used to make this polymer? So we can actually separate this into two groups. This one is the addition polymer. Okay, addition polymer is coming from, they are coming from alkene with double bonding. So here it should be C, double bond C. Okay, you have this hydrogen and hydrogen. So this is the monomer. So A is not, B is wrong, D is wrong. So your answer is C here. Okay. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something from here. And if you have any question, please comment below. And I would like to apologize earlier for taking a longer time to reply. Thank you very much for watching this video. All the best.